you're joining, welcome. Settle in for a moment if you can, even if you're moving. Take a breath. We don't ever know how someone else is going to respond. That makes it vulnerable. And sometimes we want to control our journey. I hope that my outcome is exactly what I want, but I realize that's just in my mind, 'cause I've got to surrender to the flow, and what I'm about to let go is okay. The attachment for something, 'cause it's all in the name of family healing. So in the name of family healing, I know, 'cause I walk it with you, and I don't know how it's going to go, but I will learn and enjoy the in-between, I suppose. All in the name of family healing. What does that even mean? That's might be what you think. Whoa, at least grasping. No need to run, no need to chase. It's all love. Welcome to this week's Family Healing Friday. Thanks for joining. If you're joining the recording, thanks for joining. It's good to be here with you. As you may know, I am passionate about family healing. So passionate. Going from disconnected to whole. From scared and alone to embracing and supporting and dreaming and living out the fullness of what it means to be in a unified human family. And I feel that happens through starting with our original relationships, whether they are alive still or not, whether they are in my life or yours or not. It is still so possible and so beautiful. So I wanted to start again this week with what is the path of family healing. And I think this writing does a better job of communicating that than anything I could come up with on the spot right now. Although you may know I love doing that, which is what I do with most music and most things. So, what is the path of family healing? It is a way to create the holistic community that your heart dreams of and family life. By healing all of the past hurt of yours and your families and integrating the wisdom through insightful action and spacious interaction, through coming to release all old negative emotions and stories in your body and mind, you create the space for all of the meaningful fulfilling connections that your heart has deeply longed for. It is the core principles of personal responsibility, trust in the perfection, seeing through the eyes of love, and eternal curiosity that make the path of family healing possible. Without one, you will inherently cycle through your karmic destiny and repeat the patterns until the suffering becomes great enough and you are forced to change. The beauty is, you have the choice. Walking the path of family healing is a delicate, vulnerable, life-changing way to live and perceive the world. Nothing will be the same once you commit and devote yourself fully. All life around you starts to conspire towards your goal of a unified human family, and it no longer remains a lofty ideal, but begins to manifest itself in subtle ways first, until eventually everyone you are surrounded by lives in a state of true unconditional love. What a sweet feeling. And one of the most important things is to continue to allow that to be possible, to allow that feeling to be possible, rather than to immediately reject it based on where we are now as a human species and as a personal family. So, this week's theme is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a rich, textural word that comes with a lot of, tricky pieces. I imagine that if we could all just forgive, then we would. But it seems like forgiveness has to move in its own pace with our gentle nudges. And how can we ever really know when we've reached that whole feeling of, I forgive you, I am at peace, I am at peace. So when I dream of living in this world with a whole human family, not struggling to breathe the same air and be open to everything that is there, I know that I need to get into my own feeling body to get into what is truly present. When I think about the president, when I think about my brothers, my sisters, when I wonder what is happening in this world, and forgiveness and compassion seem like they are lacking, 'cause I'm still mad at the way things are going. Now I know I don't need to bypass any type of feelings. I get to be present with all that is. And I also get to realize that when I stay angry, nothing happens in this life. 'Cause life is teaching me to let it all go. One thing's for certain, I don't know. And when I can land in that place with you and open to the truth, that only love is the only thing that will remain. So loosen up, loosen baby, loosen up. I am breathing with you, and I forgive everything that we do. But it doesn't mean I don't talk about personal responsibility And I get into the problems that I see, and I say, this needs to change. I'm not gonna say that it's okay, but I will not refrain from sharing love with you. I will not hold back the truth, that the only way home is to come back to letting go of feeling alone. The only way to come back home is to remind us that we are all one human family. So I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive you. I forgive everything. I let it be. I can let my body settle without thinking. So loosen and breathe. Thanks for joining that little journey about forgiveness. What's in that? What's in that feeling? What's in that feeling, that present? How do I feel when I imagine forgiving all of the hurt and the suffering? I feel angry. I feel hurt. So the trick is, when it comes to bringing that home to family healing, the trick is to start small. Someone was late. Someone didn't text you back. Okay. I'm mad. Present with that. I'm present with that. Oh, I'm hurt. Bummer. They were late. They don't care about me. Oh, there's the story. That is what's coming up. That right there is where we sit for a moment and we say, I forgive myself. I forgive someone else. And through that practice, without really knowing why or how, it starts to soften the walls and it shifts the way of our being. And why this is super important is because when we do the small forgiveness, then we start to see the bigger things that are in the way on our side of a relationship. And the truth is there's more often things on both sides than we think. And our mind tries to trick ourselves that there's something that they need to do, which might be true, and it might always be true. But if you are not in a state of unconditional, open love towards someone, then there's something for you to do, and that's where your empowerment journey comes in. Because why be a victim when you can become love? When you can be embracing life. And the catch is things shift. Things shift through integrated action. That's the important piece. It's not like, okay, I'm meditating, I'm crying, oh, I feel release, great, oh, so much better now. Then comes the real integration, then comes the real happenings from this. Time to call the person. Time to schedule another meetup. And they're late again. Oh, it doesn't touch me as much. And I can clearly communicate how it feels at the same time, so that we can cultivate the life that we dream of together. And that's where communicating our desires and all this comes in, and maybe we'll get into that next week, but we're just focusing on forgiveness internally and externally. So, as I feel into forgiveness, I think of my relationship with one of my cousins and how much I wanted to journey with them, to go to Europe together. We had made plans, we had talked about it, we had almost made plans, we had dreamt it, and then there was a lack of communication. And I felt really hurt by that. And then I ended up going alone and met up with another friend instead. And this is a smaller one for me at this point. But at the time, it was a big rift. I didn't want to talk to him for a long time. So while I started to become aware that this was impacting me, I started to breathe with that and practice forgiveness and notice that I was not forgiving myself for taking that risk. It's a risk to share your desire. I want to travel with you, buddy. It would mean so much to me. And that for not to be reciprocated in the way that I had wanted, which comes back to last week's video. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube or on my Facebook page. And that is this super important opportunity to hold our line, our spine, and our openness to the hurt. Forgiveness. I forgive you. And over time, years, and this is why I share it now, because it took me years to practice this without really knowing what to do. And he and I talked, and it was clunky at times, and we were missing a piece, and then I noticed, I need to forgive myself for hurting him as a kid. I was his older brother that was playing tough love while we played hockey. And I reached out to him and I said, dude, I'm sorry for being so mean to you. Even though I still felt hurt about something that was more recent and perhaps more present. And through being able to hold both of those presently, I could then move into integrated action. So he acknowledged that, received that, we conversed, we laughed, we cried a little bit, and then came the next wave of like, okay, I'm still noticing something in myself. I get to be with that. And this is where the tool comes in. This is where your opportunity, the right now tool, to come into presence with what does it feel like to actually practice forgiveness. And what I would invite for you in this practice is to go stand in front of a mirror, to look into your eyes, and to say, after a deep breath, I forgive you. No forgive you for, no I kind of forgive you. I forgive you. Let it set. Take another breath. I know it hurts. And I forgive you. One more breath. Thank you. And through that thank you, then you settle back in. And I don't want this to be too hard for you, so it's just 30 seconds, maybe a minute tops. And then you just go back. If you're feeling inspired to go deeper, go sit for a moment, write in your journal, sing about it, of course. And then notice where's the resistance? Because ultimately we're going to get to the integrated action piece, which is what's after this, Chris? I mean, I want to have a good relationship with this person that I'm frustrated with. Well, if you're going to approach them from a place of finger wagging or closeness or tightness, then it's going to be hard to really get to the heart. But if you can come with a slight vulnerability and responsibility, personal responsibility, what's my part of the story? And hey, dude, I dreamt of doing this with you, and I created an expectation that you were going to follow through. But the truth is I don't know what was best for your journey, and I just felt sad. I felt sad. So I want to call you, and even though you may not feel this right now, I want to forgive you for what you've done. Now, if someone's not available for that, then, or forgive you for what happened, for the lack of communication, I don't hold this against you. Whatever it is, and it's nuanced, because if If you don't fully feel that, then it's going to be a tricky space, but it's worth the risk, granted that you're in a somewhat grounded space. So that feels like enough on that subject. And let's just enter a brief meditation, saying farewell to forgiveness. It's just a concept of the mind. I don't need to try. I am so alive. I'm grateful. Oh, I'm grateful. The stories are unfolding exactly as it needs. Settling. So as we come out into the day, just end with a little gratitude. What's one thing I'm grateful for on my family healing journey? I'm grateful that my family healing journey continues and that I feel resilient even after feeling hurt or frustrated. One thing, just one thing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. Please message with any thoughts, questions. I appreciate